There's a story in the Bible of these three guys that were so committed and dedicated to God, and their life, their story really serves as a great example. But here's the thing about these guys and their life and their commitment to God. They lived in an ungodly kingdom that was ran, of course, by an ungodly king, and he issued this law that said at a specific time their sound is going to be made, and everybody's going to stop what they're doing and bow and worship this image of me. Well, these three guys, if you know the story in Daniel, refused to do that. They said, we're not going to do it. We serve God, and we're not going to bow and worship your image. So they were arrested, brought to the king, and the king said, look, I want to know, is this true? Is this what you guys did? Because if that's the case, then you guys are going to get thrown in a furnace. And I mean, you're literally going to be burned up with fire. Now, I wonder, I don't know about you, but sometimes in my life, I've had to face certain things in my life that felt like that my faith was going to be tested. That, in other words, I had to make a decision. Am I going to stay true to God, or am I going to compromise my faith? And you probably have gone through things like that. You probably have faced them. If you haven't, trust me, at some point you will. But here's the thing about this story. These three guys were so committed to God, they said this, King, we understand what you said, but here's the thing. We know that our God is able to deliver us from you in this fiery furnace. But here's what I want you to catch. They said, even if he doesn't. And I like that. Even if this thing doesn't work out like we thought it would, we're still not going to bow and worship your image. We would rather die being committed and sold out to God than compromise our faith in Jesus or our faith in God. And sometimes we have to come to that place in our lives where we say, even if I'm going through situations in my life, even though I may be going through a divorce, even though I may be going through a financial hardship, even though I may be battling something in my body physically, even though my relationships are deteriorating, I'm still going to trust God. I still have to believe that God is going to work all of this out. And one thing I have found about serving God and in my relationship with Him, that it's not unusual, actually, for God to sometimes bypass what we've been hoping for to give us what we really need. And I think sometimes we really need to stop and think about that even if this doesn't turn out like I hoped it would, I know that God knows better. And I know that God knows what's best for me. Just like these three guys, that even if this doesn't turn out like we hoped, we're still going to serve God. We're still going to be true to Him. And I want to encourage you today that if things aren't going the way you hoped, just know that sometimes God will bypass the things that you and I hope for to really give us what we truly and honestly need in our lives. Listen, God loves you. And I'm telling you, I really believe that your best days are still ahead of you. They're ahead of all of us. But we've got to trust God and know that God has a plan for you and for me. Listen, we love you, and we'll be praying for you guys. Just remember, God is for you. He's not against you.